Welcome to Coming in Hot with Caroline. I'm so happy to be here. You guys, I have the best guest today. I am so fucking excited. I have been following Kat and Nat. Yes, Kat and Nat are here. Kat and Nat, they're here. You guys, I am so excited to have you here. First of all, I just want to say I started following you guys a couple of years ago, and I think it was a Mom Truth video. I think it was like, you know, scrolling, and I saw and I stopped, and I just remember being like, who the fuck are these two? And I'm not joking, because I just remember, I was like, finally, someone who's telling the truth. Like, you go through social media, let's be honest. It's a shit show. It's everyone's highlight reel. I think it's getting a little more real, a little more authentic, but I love the real. And I just want to know, how did you guys start coming up with those mom truths, and what made you guys do that?
Well, the truth is, we were the first of all of our friends to have babies. And this was at a time where Pinterest was like at the peak, where everything we saw of moms was doing everything perfect. They were baking, they were cooking, they were cleaning, they could do crafts and all of the stuff.
Like, we were done having babies at 34. Like, we had 7 kids by 30. No. Yeah, so
I hadn't had one.
Yeah, and so all of our friends were going for dinner at like 11 o'clock when we had one, and we were the only two who were like, oh, yeah, right.
You're like 5 p.m. guys.
Yeah, no,
right?
it really
if
was. It was really hard,
going.
And everyone looked and it was also at a time when
did you guys have kids together though? Same age, like
yeah. And but when it was a time when it was taboo to talk about mother, like when you went out for dinner, you weren't supposed to talk about anything. Because kids weren't interesting. So you were boring if you talked about kids.
And my parents, like, we weren't spoken to at the dinner table if we were out with friends at a dinner table. When you spoke, like, we were meant to be quiet and look good.
And everything was supposed to be perfect. Like, you were supposed to be okay. Motherhood was just fine. Like, you just lived.
No one talked about it.
No one talked about it.
Like a good example of that is that, and my mom is so amazing, but never forget, this is such a good example of people not talking about it, is when my friends started having babies and they were having miscarriages, my mom actually said to me, so weird, nobody had miscarriages when I was having babies. And I go, Mom, nobody was talking about it. She's like, oh my God, you're right. I never thought about it. But really, all the examples of motherhood that we saw were just so perfect. And the two of us would get together and we would cry. We would talk about all the crazy shit. We would talk about how our relationship with our husband has changed and this doesn't feel normal and second guessing
everything. What was the hardest at the beginning for you two?
To talk about?
No, or to even just admit about motherhood. What was were you guys happy? Did you have any postpartum? Did you?
Oh my God, no. It was after the first baby. People were like, oh, you have four kids. Isn't that so hard? I said, nothing was harder than going from 0 to 1 because I absolutely did not expect it to be like that. And I thought I was supposed to be happy. And all my friends like, she had a baby. Like, that's what she wanted and all this. And meanwhile, I was like, I don't feel happiness. And I'll never forget when they said it'll all feel better when your baby looks up at you and does that first smile. And I remember she did that first smile and I didn't feel anything. Right. And I was like, wait, when is this going to feel good?
Right. And like, I didn't cry when I had the baby. Like, I wasn't like, like I
didn't.
Did
you feel judged by that? Did you feel bad or guilty for not feeling that? Because I feel like we put a lot of shit on moms about how you're supposed to feel. Like in motherhood, in marriage, and you're supposed to be so happy. I found motherhood was so fucking hard at the beginning.
I just thought I was supposed to feel happy, and even though I got dressed at the time
with pearls.
Oh, the whole thing, blazers, and I had the outfits because that was actually at the time my lipstick to make it look like I had it together. But inside I was like, nothing about this. I dreamed of this, and here it is, and it feels bad, and I have no control, and I don't know how it's going to get better.
And how did you feel?
I was lucky because I found her at 6 weeks. Like not separated. We just were like, we were in 2 different realms, right? Like we became like motherhood.
We weren't besties until we first had babies.
Really?
Yeah, we actually never were before.
We went to camp together.
Right.
Like we were just in each other's lives.
Right. Okay.
Like as friends. And I had been a social worker and a child and youth worker, and I had worked with like some of the toughest kids. And I really thought motherhood would be.
I knew I loved you for a reason.
I just thought motherhood would be very easy. Like I thought it would be.
Because you work with kids. You're like, I love kids.
The hardest kids. And I was like, oh, it's gonna be so easy. And I think it was really hard. It was really hard, and I didn't think it. How do you put this? It's like your life changes so much, but you don't want to give any control away. But you almost are just like, even putting the kid my baby in the I'm like, car seat was overwhelming because
I cried in the car the first time we drove.
Crying and like getting the stroller.
You start crying, and I almost hit a garbage can because I was like, I didn't know what to do. I'm looking through the thing. I was like stressed out of my mind.
And she's like, come over, and I'm like, I can't actually get the baby in the car and like drive because that just feels like it's easier. I remember I put her in a baby born, she'd cry, and I would just eat Oreos. Like I would out of the bag, and I would just be like, when are you coming home to my husband. Like, just like when
Me
you
too.
get to leave, when the fuck? And he's like, I'm going out tonight. I'm like, fuck.
Oh yeah, I remember like.
What about
like,
the work trips? I'd be like,
you-
oh, you want on
yeah.
a work trip to eat
Yeah.
and drink champagne at dinner with
Yeah.
your fucking
Oh,
my
that
God.
it was
and he'd be like,
such
it's
a
work.
dream. Work dinners. I was like, oh my gosh. I remember one time we went downtown and we saw all these like men and they were having work lunches and they were drinking wine. We're like, this is what it's like out here.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, he's drinking his coffee, reading a newspaper.
Yeah.
I'm running around like a fucking lunatic. Hair's crazy. And that's when like I lost myself because yes, you're trying to balance it all. And I'm like, why do we do this to ourselves?
I just didn't know anything else and I had nothing else to compare it to. And I was just like,
Did you guys make a deal to each other? Like, hey, we're gonna do this together.
yes.
A secret. Like, it was just
We
a
didn't- we
secret
didn't say
bond.
it to each
Not
other, it just happened.
It just was like, it was a lifeboat. It was a lifeboat.
How
it
were you
was,
guys able to really tell the truth? Because I think people bullshit and bullshit and bullshit, and I feel like I remember when I came on Instagram, people were like, "You said that out loud," or "Oh my God, you admitted that," and I'm like, I know it's taboo to admit that it isn't always perfect, or that your kids. I'm not always happy playing with toy trucks. I don't always
Yes.
want to play with dinosaurs. I thought I would have a girl, which is hilarious. You know, me and my jewelry,
Oh
and
my
clothes.
God,
I don't have a
hilarious.
daughter. Like, and no wife's getting it.
I think.
Granddaughter gets it. Not the wife.
Oh,
Wife
very
can
good
wipe
move.
away,
Very good
just so you
move.
know.
Yes.
But that's the whole point. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how we all do this, but we do.
I know, and I will say that it was easier when we did it together. And the reason that we realized that we had to start talking about it because we were talking to each other 24/7.
And were
we
you?
would-
Who talked first? Who had admitted it first? Like, who was kind of
I
like,
said to her that I don't feel like having like I was facing forward and I was like I
We
don't
were
feel like
walking,
having sex.
and she was so afraid. She's like, I think
I
I
was
have
like-
to tell you something. I have to tell you something.
I guess this means we're getting a divorce.
And she's like, thought she was getting a divorce. I'm like, what? I'm like, and I was like this. I said, oh my God, that's so normal. I haven't had sex in 6 months. And she's like,
I was
what?
like, oh
why
my
are people
gosh.
shocked by this? Can we discuss sex for 1 second?
Oh,
Just as I know
yes.
you guys talk about this, and I think people always think, I know somebody recently was asking about the jewelry and the sex and all the bullshit. But the truth is, I think sex changes throughout your relationship, right?
Obviously.
Right? I'm like, I'm fucking exhausted. And, okay, I'm just going to say this. I'm an afternoon delight kind of gal.
Good
Because
for
the
you.
mornings, don't touch me.
Mornings, hell
And
no.
night, I'm too tired. How did their sex life change, and how do you see sex now with your husbands? Because I think a lot of women think
delight, Kat.
I
I'm a little
know.
bit of an afternoon delight. What do you guys?
I'm fine if you want to sleep with me in your head and like, ooh, like I'm like great, do what you need. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah,
like,
like, enjoy,
if I could
fantasize.
if I could sleep with anyone, I'm sleeping with you. I'm just not sleeping with anyone. If it's you, I love you. You know what I mean? Like it's you, babe.
It's you, but just like a little affection. You know
just
what I
like-
mean? Like a little peck.
I said, I'm like, oh my God, if you can do it under 5 minutes, you're my dream. Like,
Oh, tell me about it.
I'm like, land the
Are you guys
fucking
doing
plane.
blowjobs still?
No.
Hell no, thank
Only
you.
if I
This is
on
a
like
real
seven,
conversation.
on
I'm not
like
joking.
7 margaritas. Like,
Yeah.
give me one margarita.
And
Like,
like-
I am the song. You know
And
what
the
I mean?
ambient.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
see, I
I'm
know.
just-
I need this. We recently had a podcast because I think we just talked about this where I think everyone talks about like only sex, and I'm like, it's the relationship of intimacy is so much bigger than sex.
Yes.
And I think that people are like, men are like, we're not having sex, we must not be okay. And I'm so sick of people defining how they're seen like in love and affection through sex, because
Yes.
I think it is so much more. It's like, are you talking? Do you go for dinner? Like, is there
Are you
so
holding
much
hands?
like when you go on vacation, do you see that you're the mother and the father of these people, and are your people happy, and are you as a whole,
Yes.
are they like, when you walk in, the house is happy? Is that not the most attractive thing in the world? And you are all okay? Like, I think that we put so much weight on the woman to have sex, and if you don't, it's not okay. And
as if they're going to go cheat. I know a lot of. I have a lot of friends, honestly, that I don't know if it's whether it's the sex addict conversation or the he's so cranky when he doesn't have sex. That excuse of like how their mood changes.
Yes.
And like to me, I'm kind of like, what about my fucking mood? Like
Yeah.
I don't like that having to give in. Like for me, it's like affection means so much more.
Oh, me too.
Than like a quick 2 minutes. Like I'm sorry. Like for me, I want to hold hands. I want my kids to see what us kissing looks like. Not a full makeout session, but like the pecks on the lips, the laughing, the letting them see us laugh together. I think
Which
that
is intimate. That's the most intimate.
And like watching a movie holding hands, or on the street when we're in the car, our kids are like, "Oh, you guys are holding hands," and we hold hands in the car.
Can you imagine that conversation though for kids watching that is just as important as how much you have sex in a week?
Please, because with all the pornography that goes on,
Can you
and
imagine?
fucks up kids' lives,
Yeah.
thinking that that's normal, and
yes.
it's not.
It's not. And can you imagine if you were like, wow, that was like, we are so in love, not just because we have sex, but also because
Exactly.
I call you on the way home because I
'Cause
think
we respect each
because
other.
I think of you rather than just, right? So I think that
For me, yes. I think sex changes. I think I don't give a shit if it's 6 months, if it's every week, if it's twice
doesn't
a week.
mean I love you less.
It does not mean I love
But
you
for
less.
some it does. And that's where, because the narrative we've created for everybody.
Yes, and the fact that some people need to show it off rather, like, I feel like when you're so affectionate out in public, it's like you're trying to prove something to somebody. And
Unless
I don't
you
know
just
who.
met.
Or
And
you
then
just
you're like,
met and
oh
you're
my
like,
God, I can't keep my
But
hands
like
off
me
of
and
you.
John, we're talking to two different people. Like, I'm off doing my thing. I'm talking to my friends. Like, I'm not sitting on his lap. I'm not all over him. Like,
But that's all
Like,
the
we're
parts of a
partners.
whole. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
that's all the parts of a whole that make the intimacy of a relationship, like, amazing.
yes, and I just want ladies to understand that because I think we have normalized like the sexy, the porn, the this and the
Oh.
bullshit, and people think that like, oh, it's over or he's gonna go cheat, and it's like if that's what he's gonna go do,
He's
that's
gonna
not
do
your
it.
guy.
Do it.
He's
Even
gonna
if
do it
you're having-
anyway.
you could be even if you're having sex.
every
Yes,
single day, he's
I
going to cheat. He's
agree.
going to do it.
So how do your husbands deal with you guys working? Truthfully, how is the balance, honestly? Because I think a lot of moms at home saying, there's just no way I could do a side gig. There's no way I could do a side hustle.
You mean
But-
like a man, another
No,
level?
a job.
I mean, if
Another
you,
job.
if you
I
want
was
to
like,
go
no,
there,
no
I'm
way,
happy
together.
to.
I'm like, one dick's enough. Like, I couldn't
Trust
do
me.
more dick. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
me
There's
neither.
no more dick.
No
that I
one's
can
looking
handle.
to cheat here.
No,
okay? I
no,
don't got time.
I've got enough dick on my plate. Like, there's no more coming in.
Oh my God, I have so many dicks in my house. Good. I think
Two of mine
that-
are little, but it's fine.
I think we really changed the game because we were at the time like stay-at-home moms and we never had a plan. It's not like we were like, okay, let's go out and get a job or we're going to start a business and this is the plan. Everything just sort of happened. And
But did you want a business? Like, I'm just curious
No,
of what
not-
was that trigger in your brain of we're gonna just start doing something.
we just wanted to we were realizing the conversations we were having, we were running into like friends and we would start talking to them and then they just kept talking to us and talking to us and it was we could see that they needed this conversation so much.
Yeah,
So
and-
we were like, we got to share this.
And to be totally honest, we were trying to alleviate the stress of the income of our husbands. And so we felt guilty of being stay-at-home moms. So we were like, we can maybe, I think our goal was like $1,000 a month. If we could make, and
Right.
split it. If we could make $1,000 a month, then
That really was the beginning.
that was really the goal for us to make just a
Because
little.
mine was just to make a little money so I could shop.
That's
Yeah.
it. It was
Not
just,
joking.
and it was like,
not to hurt the money, family money,
Yeah.
but I just, for me, I know what I like, and I just didn't want to have to ask permission for shit.
Yes.
yeah, and it was to be like, it was so he wasn't so stressed out about the money. We were trying to like contribute more.
Yes, yes.
And then it just kept growing and growing and growing. And at first,
Can you tell us how it started? Because it's such a great story. Because I think all moms just want to meet up. I can't tell you how much community women need.
I mean, and that's exactly
Is
what it
that
was.
really what it was? 'Cause
And it
was
really
dinner
started
parties.
off, yeah.
I mean, I think it's sick.
and it was actually a music class.
yeah.
no.
It
Yeah,
was in-
with my sister.
And no babies need a music class. It's all about the moms. So we invited some of the moms over
Or
and
like
we had
my
this
gym,
music
when
class.
the baby's over there and they're screaming at you because he's not sitting in the circle, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm sweating
Yeah.
profusely.
Oh
and you're like,
my
this
gosh,
fucking
yes.
sucks. Yes, it's the same thing.
So more and more moms kept saying like, can I come over? Can I come over? And then the working moms after work would come over as well because they wanted to be a part of this. And the moms would just chat and chat. They could never finish what they needed to say because the baby was always interrupting. So we were like, we have this. We got to talk all the time. We're like, all these women are so desperate.
was it on Facebook though that you guys, or YouTube?
It
you guys
turned-
started,
It was in real life.
Oh, it was
we
just
did
real life.
real
like,
life.
with
It was
you were
like
like,
our-
let's get our friends together.
and
That's how it
people
started.
and friends of friends.
Then we started doing events and selling tickets and bringing experts talking
There
about
was no
like,
online. We started in
and
2010.
then
2010.
we were like,
yeah.
let's have our
Holy
own
shit, you guys,
talk
that's
show,
amazing.
and we will just invite bloggers over, so they'll like write about it, so our socials can grow. We'll like there'll be wine, there'll be food, and then we're like, now let's live stream it because everyone in other cities want to see it. There was no capabilities. We found this guy in Germany who knew how to live stream through YouTube, and we live streamed.
You guys are hustlers.
Well, it was just sort of like we really felt like we wanted other moms to feel like supported, like how we felt with each other.
Not alone.
Yeah. And then it was like a year later, something Facebook, there's this thing called Facebook Live. So then we just did it through Facebook Live.
Oh, you did. That's where it started, the Facebook Lives. And then how did you start doing how did you guys get on tour and all of this? Because like, I don't even
Guys,
know how
from-
you manage all of this. But like, really quick though, when you guys first started, genuinely, what was that growth? What did you see from the women? What is it that they were looking for, genuinely? Because I think this is what all the women are looking for now. And I think community is one. But what were the conversations normally like?
Sadly, and it hasn't changed much. They're doing everything. Like they're doubling down. They're working. They're doing the house. They're managing the kids, and they have someone who like works but comes home and doesn't contribute much.
And they feel guilt because they don't feel like they're doing the best job that they can, and they're tired, and
Yeah.
they don't feel they've lost themselves.
Right. That's all I get to.
And they feel
Lost. They feel like they don't recognize themselves anymore.
And I don't think they ever had themselves. And they signed up. You know, I think the biggest piece of advice I could give anyone who's young and like dating and is looking for a partner, we married people who like accepted us as we were and never tried to change us. Like we haven't changed that much, so they were never mad at who we were. Like they weren't like, don't be someone different. And we were wild. Like we're wild. We are wild. Like
you guys
will
are
see us.
so fun.
You'll see us. We are like that with our families. Like we're like that.
Your husbands are never embarrassed. They're
No,
never like,
no,
don't,
like
don't film that.
That's
like,
right. No, like,
I have
we're-
friends' husbands that like hate it.
Yes.
No.
Oh, yeah.
But
John's
if we're
like, do whatever you want.
inappropriate on the line, we're on the line. If we're inappropriate on the line. We're inappropriate at the family dinner, at the everywhere. Like,
Yeah,
like
you
just
are authentic as authentic gets,
But
right?
and thank God. I mean, obviously, we must have sensed it and known it, but like that, we did marry these guys because we did. You know, we might have been crazy like within our family, within our house, but then we took it to a public forum so everyone to see, and they still have. I mean, we traveled. We had strippers on our tour bus with us. They never once were like, "I don't like that."
Yeah.
Really. They
Or
like fully
don't
support
say
you
that.
guys.
no, we'd had we'd FaceTime with the kids, and because really the dancers all have like unique lives, and you can learn so much from them.
You guys, I
and,
want to pop out of a cake in one of your shows.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, they really were people, and they're still like their family, and we know their girlfriends and their fiancés, and they all come on the road, and you know, there was no no one's different or worse or better than anyone. If you
Like
work
your
with people-
husbands know them.
Oh
You
my God,
guys are a huge
backstage,
family.
they come backstage literally with the strippers sitting there
they
and
do,
dancing with the
right?
dancers, and they're like all
But
talking.
even
and
if our like another man would be like, I don't like that look. Like I don't like that. You know, I mean, that would have been a real surprise if we had ever had Mark turn to us and be like, I don't like that, or I don't like when you say that, or I don't like that. We're never gonna be disrespectful to them,
Right.
Because we actually like them.
Us too.
So
Ew. No, I'm kidding.
that is so cringe.
you'll find us on the bar dancing, and they'll be like, "There she is!" Like it's not like
That's
they're
John's
they're
like,
not-
oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I'm
I
don't
gonna
think
get
a
do
lot
this.
of men. I think a lot of people in relationships
Intimidated.
don't have.
Very intimidated with not having the attention, because it's interesting what when you have a little attention, it makes men very uncomfortable.
Oh my god!
Right.
And that's why I always
Exactly
think-
like you were saying. Like they're in the play, like they're the lead, and then the wife and women are all the backstage people. They're the lighting, they're the sound.
Yeah.
They're the star of the show, and
Yep.
a lot of men like that.
Exactly. A lot of my friends, it's interesting. You see the husband, and I'm like, to me, I can never be married to somebody who literally was watching anything I was doing, telling me I couldn't do something. Like, I am one of those people that's super independent. And the second you tell me not to do it, I'm going to go do it.
Yeah.
So if he was like, "Oh, that's too much cleavage," the shirt would come off.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'd be like, "Really?" Because the tits are out now.
Yes.
Like, don't.
1,000%.
Because my dad, of course, was the one. Why are you wearing that? Close that up. Oh, you can see cleavage. Like, he would always be on top, and he was
Oh.
cheating all the time. So I'm always like curious of the ones that are very
It
jealous.
it means nothing.
Nothing.
Our husbands, obviously, they knew what they were getting with us because.
And what do they do? Because I feel like everyone's asked. They were like, "What do Kat and Nat's husbands?" I'm like, "They don't work because John works for me." They're like,
they don't
ask
work for us.
them.
They
They
have-
do not work for you, right?
No.
Do they say anything about the business?
No,
do they
we
manage
they
anything
tried
with
a
the
long time
business?
ago. Rawr, like
And
no.
you were like, "Cut your fucking legs off." No.
We also have to do we have to do it our way. Like everything we do, you can't really tell us what to do. Anyone.
amazing.
We always have to do the process, and whether it's right or wrong, we just go like that didn't work that way. Like there's not much. We don't take advice.
And what was the dream for you guys? Like, what was at the end? What was the end goal?
$1,000 a month.
That was it. And then where did it grow from there?
So then-
Because, like, I'm telling you, there's so many women at home think they cannot do anything.
I know.
How the fuck did you guys do
It
this?
honestly, at the very base of it all was we wanted to always create space where women could get together, have fun, and feel good about themselves. So that's actually how the tour happened. Was we would talk on Facebook Live, but one day we want to host a party, and you guys all come, and we all have so much fun together, and we're all together, and it's everything we would ever want. We will sing, we'll dance, we'll have dancers, we'll pop confetti. It'll be like the best party. Everything the moms are missing in their lives, we're gonna host that.
So by 11 o'clock.
And then all of a sudden, this like studio in Toronto was like, we'll host that. And you guys can sell tickets, and we did it, and it was so fun. And then, other women were like, I
Were
need
you
a
ever
night like
nervous
this.
about selling the tickets? Like, did it sell out?
Always. No,
Were
it sold
you-
out very.
So I'm saying, I think that this is what women don't understand, that we are working our asses off.
Yes.
We are not just sitting here taking a pretty photo.
No.
This is real businesses. We are working 24/7,
Yes.
and there's anxiety because you're building a business, and I'm always scared that people won't show. I don't know. There's always that, like,
yeah,
when
of
you're
course.
starting
Oh,
up.
well.
But then the other thing is, then you get to a point, and then now you've got people that their livelihood is depending on us making the money. So we can still have fun, but we have to make sure that everyone's being taken care of and we're making money. And now the family's relying on the income. We kind of like, how did that happen? Like we just wanted it to be like extra money. But now that money's being used for life. We're like, that wasn't the plan.
Wait, I literally just said to John, this whole thing started so that my money was my money and your money was my money. All of a sudden, somehow, all of my money is everyone's money. I'm like, what is happening?
He's like, welcome to being a man.
He goes, welcome to working. I was like, fuck
I know.
you.
What? We just really wanted it to have like some fun money.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like to spend. And I was like, why am I running a real business now? Like what happened?
I know.
And you have to meet people and then you're really stressed around everybody.
Plug your ears, you two.
It was just supposed to be fun. And it is still fun, obviously, but there's the pressure now.
How do you manage the pressure of being a mom to 4 to 3? Literally. I think my entire following is 98% women and moms. Honestly, when I look at my analytics, every single one, there is a DM saying, how the fuck do you guys do all this? And there is no balance. I don't think there is a balance. I think we all do the best we fucking can each and every day. And for me, I just do one day at a time. That's all I can focus on.
Yes.
How do you guys do it,
my
honestly?
God, so Nat's so good. We also talk
I'm 1 hour at a time?
Yeah, no, because she doesn't get over, I will get
overwhelmed if I look too far into the future.
Yeah, so
I get anxiety.
Yes.
And it always works out. And if someone doesn't get somewhere, it's okay. Or if something's going to be missed, it's okay. No, that's her.
Oh, that's her.
Oh, so we you know what? We also
are you good like that? Because I'm the nervous, anxious, and John's like everything's fine. It's gonna be.
We're
fine.
both like that, but I think that we're a partnership.
It's amazing.
So we're really lucky that in terms of like you are on your and I like having that's a lot. That's a lot more. Most women don't have someone that you
guys are incredible.
You get to fail together. You get to like we get to be here together. We get So we
one that you love to spend time together and work together and build something together.
Yeah, and
it's pretty special. And your families, like it is very special.
We're very lucky that we have that. So I don't discredit that because I know a lot of women are very alone in doing it, and I think.
And I wouldn't have done this alone.
No,
not
a
chance.
No.
So if you guys hadn't discussed this, what would you be doing now? Let's say if you hadn't even started, what would you be doing?
We were sitting. We were think
walking
about that in a second.
And at the bottom of York Mill, I remember.
But I also remember sitting at your island in your kitchen, and I was just like, I looked at the outside the window, and I was just thinking to myself because my friends were all working, and I would rarely go downtown, and I was just like. I knew that our conversations, when moms would talk to us, they just didn't want to leave us. So I was like, there's something there. I'm like, there's something out there for us. And I was like, we've got to do something. And I was thinking, I don't want to do it alone. And she's like, all right, like what? And I'm like, I don't know, like what?
And then
but that's what's like such good for women to know. Go hang out with your best fucking friend. Go get some drinks. Go get a coffee. Keep talking about things because like ideas will come up. Like
I think 2 things. One, we had financial like our husbands did work.
Okay.
So we weren't working during the day and then trying to make something else work, right? Like we had the luxury to brainstorm. And the luxury to be
which is a luxury. We know that is a privilege.
Idle, right? Like to not have to be like I have to find a job because I won't get food on the table, right? Which is most people's reality right now.
And the other thing is we did say and people had said, you could get investors, you could get partners, that we were never going to spend a dollar that we didn't. We had to make money before we spent money. So we never hired anyone unless we made enough money to hire them. Like we never took out of the pot. Like the family pot. Never.
Okay, so that's how you, right.
Because we would have, the
financials is smart. Thank you for talking about this because most women don't talk about this. And I think it's so important for young girls, especially, to understand what finances are and how to take care of yourself. So you're like, we're not going to overspend until we make money.
Yeah, no, there was no dollar spent until we made it.
So how did you guys grow it?
We go through social media and then getting brand partners. Yeah. And we did a lot of weird
we pitched ourselves a million times and no, and then it's like yes, and then
so you got no's and you still made it, right?
Oh yeah.
Because everyone thinks it's so easy. Everyone thinks I started yesterday. I'm like, it's been 7 years, every single day, 24 hours a day.
And there was
7 days a week.
Yeah, so many people would ignore emails or say no, and then so many things have almost happened, and then they don't work out. But we just are very much like we'll just keep going, doing what we love to do, and the things will happen that are right,
and things just come.
Yes, and we were really used to failing.
Yeah,
as students,
we didn't really think about failure. Like everyone's like, "What are your failures?" Like this. Like there's been a lot, but I don't know.
But I feel like another person would say, like when that thing came so close and then it fell apart, that could crush someone. But for us, we're like,
Oh, well.
wasn't meant to be.
I think that's why it works.
Yeah.
Right? Because it isn't that pressure. And like, when you're banking on it, you're like, is he going to call? Is he going to call? Is he going to call? He never
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah.
And then when you're like, oh, good give a shit, he calls.
Yeah.
Right? It is
So
that
true.
thing of like, I think when you don't take it so seriously, you can enjoy it a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah.
And I actually feel like the universe can feel that. And they're like, oh, she's just cool either way. Let's just give it to her.
Totally. I love that.
Yeah.
What has been the favorite part for you guys to do together?
That we get to do it together.
Together.
Is it the podcast? Is it the tour?
No, it's that we just get to do it together. Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, as long as
you're
we're
happy.
together, it's fun. Yeah.
Just together.
Do your husbands ever get annoyed?
I'm sure.
You're together all the time.
Quite yeah, I
Really?
really
We're so annoying.
They hate our toxic positivity because they're like, anything
Here she
happen,
comes.
and we're like,
Totally.
Happy.
Like, do you feel anything?
Yeah.
Like, what is?
Mark's like, that's not normal.
I'm like, the
to
sun
be
is
that way.
shining. What else? What are you complaining
too
about?
hot.
You know, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong in
Yeah,
life.
like someone gets shatter and break in the living room, and they'll
like,
be
"It's
like,
fine."
oh my god, the kids are. It's like,
Fix it.
Just
Sweep it up
Like,
or not? Like, what are you
come
gonna do?
on.
We were both.
You guys, that's amazing. Is it because you have 4 and 3 kids?
we
I feel
have
like
like
were you
a
always
couple.
like that? You guys were
Yeah.
always laid back.
it is.
What are
an-
your pet peeves? What
The way
annoys
my
you about each
husband-
other? Anything?
no.
Like the two of you together 24/7. All us girls know how amazing that sounds. But do you get annoyed? Is there anything? A little pet peeve here and there?
No.
Anything work-wise? Have there ever been like something that you were like, okay, you should not have said that or done that, or we shouldn't have anything? How are when you're doing the performances, how do the kids feel about it when they see you up there? Because I know people always ask, I literally had someone say, your son must be so embarrassed by you. Because I showed up at school like this. And I go,
that
no, and I
person
really
can
was
go
like, that's
fuck
so
themselves.
interesting. But I was like, so you think that because I put myself together and I look nice and I'm smiling, picking up my son, and he sees me and tells me I look great and you look beautiful, Mom, you think that's hurting him. But it doesn't hurt him, you looking like a hot mess, not having your shit together, in a bad mood, cranky. I'm just curious who's affecting
like
this.
your kids are as okay as you are.
Do you know what? There was a quote that I read, and we've talked about this. We're trying to find the quote because it was on a podcast, and this woman said, the most successful children that come out of college are the ones that come from a home that had a happy mom.
Yeah, I mean that's
what you
it's
said.
just, you're
You affect the home.
your kids will always, like, if you're okay with it, they're okay with it. Like, they're obviously gonna things they don't like, but I think that. But if you're okay with you, they're okay with them. You can't be not okay with you and then be okay with them.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I think the three of us just putting ourselves out there and doing Insta stories and changing our clothes or talking about our relationships, doing all this, I think to some moms, that's embarrassing and cringy.
Yeah,
sure.
Like,
Yeah,
for real.
totally
And they're
right.
not
Sure.
insecure, and they're not, like, they're totally happy with themselves, but we are cringe.
Like,
Oh,
that
we're-
is so embarrassing.
and we're
they
fine
would,
with that.
And they would think, my kid would be so embarrassed if I did that. Like, their poor kids must, like, what she thinks.
Right.
We don't fucking care.
I don't care.
about them, do, right?
No, it's too big.
I was like, my kid is laughing.
Yes.
He's having a great time. I'm
Yeah.
like,
No,
you
it's
sound like a bore.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I feel sorry for your kid.
Yeah,
I was like, are you
it's like,
joking?
we're always like,
And I was
You sound like a
whatever.
bore.
Literally, and I'm like, and again, why are women putting other women down
Yeah.
in any way? Like, if I look good, what does that fucking matter to you?
Yeah.
So
And if I
want-
don't look good to you, what the
what
fuck
does
do you
it matter?
care?
I'm like, stay in
How
your
do I
lane.
affect you?
Thank God we look different, because it'd be really boring if we all looked the same.
Or if I choose to make an effort, like for me, it's just medicine to me. For me, looking good is medicine. It's not to show off. It's not to be like, I don't give a flying fuck what anyone says. I want to look in the mirror because to me, it's my oxygen
Because
mask. For real.
everyone's thinking about everyone's thinking about themselves so much more than
That's why no
everyone's
one's looking at your cellulite.
Nobody.
No one looks at your cellulite. They're staring at their own. That is the truth.
Yeah.
You guys, genuinely, because I know we don't have a lot of time, but I want to know, what are your happy tools?
Happy tools?
Happy tools.
How do
'Cause,
we find
my happy tools, I work, like, there's tools that I have every single day. That's why I call them happy tools. Like, I put my face in the sun for 10 minutes. I do some gratefulness. Like, I'm just one of those. I
Gratitude,
love
10 minutes of
just some gratefulness, space in the sun. I think sun is therapy, movement. I love moving my body, getting up and getting dressed. I like doing some positive self-talk. We're doing good. Me helping someone or learning something or just doing some good. Those are like my 5 tools that, like, I do every week, every day to just kind of find my happy in the hard. What do you guys do? What is your happy tools?
Like, we're so basic. Like, I think.
Yeah, I think basic is
notice
great.
The more we talk to people, I feel like that we're so super basic because, like, it sounds so cheesy, but like, why I think we just wake up and I feel grateful for, like, the day.
You do, right?
And
I really just feel grateful for
And
the
then
day.
I get to wake up and I go to her house and we get to hang out and that's our job. I like to have a bath. I like
But
to
that
watch.
doesn't make you that
makes me happy.
Yeah, but you don't need it to be happy. You're happy.
But I'm
That's
saying it's
just
like
I
if
didn't
you're
have a
having a
bath in
bad
my
day,
house.
like if you're having a bad day and you need some happy
don't have
tools,
bad
like just to
days.
like, or in the sense of, you know how like I would say you can find
No
your
bad
happy
days.
in the hard, right? Because some days are
Yeah.
hard. Some days are just a little bit harder than others. And I'm like, okay, you got this. It's fine. It's
Usually
gonna be
she'll
fine.
like
What do
usually
you
she'll
do?
come over and like say something, and then I'll say something like, you know, it's like we
the
find
shit out of topics?
and then we find like
do.
humor in the conversation, and then we'll say something to each other, and then you're laughing, and
So laughter,
For sure.
happy tools.
I
like
don't
laugh-
think we have to wake up and find happy. I feel like we wake up. Obviously, there's hard moments. I'm not saying everything's perfect.
Yeah.
I think though, if you wake up and like, what more could anybody want?
I know.
Like, if your kids are healthy and like you can put food on the table and like
I know, you're
laugh,
winning. That's
like,
success.
no, really,
It
what
Doesn't
more?
but doesn't that kill you when you just think about like something like your sister, like how you are alive, you have children, you have food, you have all this.
You have a shelter. You
Yeah,
have over your
I don't-
head.
I don't-
Can't you just
it's
feel?
hard to
Can't you just
understand.
feel grateful? Like, I understand that there's a lot of people feel a lot of pain and they want to escape it as much as we
Yeah.
do. But I was like, just at a basic level, like, just all of us right here in this room, we're just so lucky to have what we have.
You know,
agree.
and when we like, the only thing we wish for our children is that when they like, because they won't remember much. They're not going to remember much. They'll remember how
Literally my kid said to me that I didn't take him anywhere, and I was out every single day for 7 years.
but it's
so you're right. It's how they make you.
it's how you make
I don't know
them
why
feel,
I took
right?
them to Disney. They don't remember.
You'll like go and so like I want them to remember us laughing. I love when my son's like, "You're so crazy," and you know what? I love
Or like you're so fun, right?
literally.
I
They're like,
mean,
"Mom, when you're here, it's so crazy." But when I talk to my kids, I'm like, "What do you like about that friend?" Like I try to get them to like extract what they like about the friendship, so
Yeah.
it's not just because if they're like, "I don't know," I'm like, probably not someone you want to keep around.
Interesting. I
But if
love
they
that.
can be like, they make me laugh, whatever that is,
Yeah.
right? And I think that I always want them to remember, like, I smiled when I see them. Like, I woke up and I just wasn't trying to be happy. I was so happy being around. And Olivia, my oldest, said to me recently, because I saw a mom who has 4 boys and like a dog, and they're all young. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
dog, yeah.
And I was like this. I was like, oh my God, it's so weird to see without 4 boys under the age of like so young. And she's like, it's so nice. And Olivia's like, I'd be so offended if you said that. I said, it's not the boys, it's the minutia that goes around with it, Olivia. I'm like, it's the cooking, it's the cleaning, it's the like,
the
it's not
everyday
it's not
tasks.
you. When I became a mom, I didn't think it would come with everything else. And I said, the younger
I was
they
like,
are,
where's the village? Where's the step? Remember they say
it's a lot of money.
Village.
The village is a lot of money.
I didn't realize
not-
they
not
yeah,
in-
I was like, where's the?
Where's the cooks?
In our culture, what it was, we're a very like like families are individuals. You don't ask for help. You do it on your own. Other cultures, it's like they all live together and take care of each other.
My mom thinks that we all destroyed ourselves. She's like, who thought up feminism? My mom, 86 years old. She
Yeah.
goes, you guys all fucked yourselves. And I go, what do you mean? She's like, I just had to like, had some food on the table.
Yeah.
And she's like, I went to work out. I hung out with my friends. She's like, you seem to be working 24/7. You're with your kids 24/7. You're up your husband's ass. You're taking care of us. You have the house and you have 2 dogs and 4 businesses. And she's like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like,
I mean,
what?
it's a
And I'm like,
lot.
you're right. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm taking it all because I was like, it kind of feels like I raised the kids and now I'm making the money.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm kind of like, am I doing it all?
All of it. Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's the minutia. It's the
Right.
minutia. It's not like it's not you.
Do you guys feel that way too or no?
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
no,
you're
we
doing
do.
it all?
Yes.
You know, we do, but I don't because I feel like we like what we do. So it's
Yeah.
an escape too. So although it's like it's a job, it's also what fuels us to live happily and mentally stable.
We also have really
I love
helpful,
it too,
really
so.
helpful moms who are still very like youthful. And I will
so
say
lucky.
when she
Yeah.
says that, you know, they won't remember a lot, but they'll remember happy mom. And I know that's what you're trying to do for your kids too, is our moms were both single moms and they went through, they were out of nowhere, they just had nothing at all. And we watched them build it up. We didn't know each other at the time. And when I
Really?
My
think
mom's
back,
such a happy hoot. She's just happy. She's such a hoot. Like I'm just like
love
you're
that.
like
it was such a hard time, and you be honest with your kids about the hard times too. But like, I can only imagine like being where my mom is now to just all of a sudden be like on my own and not have a penny to my name and have to take care of the kids and just buckle up and go. And but things I remember about her, I mean, there was some hard times, sad times, but I remember her dancing. Like I remember
do?
her putting in a tape and like dancing to music and being like fun and like having friends. She had best friends.
She did.
She did. So like, I feel like
She found her happy. Maybe that was her happy tool, right? To like dance, put the music on, and be like, "Fuck it, we got this."
And she had her girlfriends, and they were there to help her when everything. Like I remember them being there, and so I think that we like watching. And she remembers her mom. Her mom that was living a crazy life, but she remembers her being happy.
You really do.
My mom didn't know how crazy she was until we wrote a book, and she explained it. And now it's like, excuse me, what? I'm like,
your mom's a fucking kook. And by the way, she's amazing.
My mom's amazing, but she's a kook. Like a kook would do, like.
See, and my mom was always unhappy.
Like we couch surfed, like on other people's couches. Like I lived, like I had to sleep on people's couches with my mom. Like we like, and it was like, yeah, it was like fine.
You're like, it's fine, it's great.
No, it was fine. It was my normal.
But I think that's why you have your attitude. That's why you guys have this incredible attitude.
There's no baggage. I'm not like, oh my God.
And then I think it's also like our moms have really helped support us during this and traveling and doing all that because they knew what it was like to have to like build it on their own. And they're like, I know my mom wants me to be able to be independently successful.
She does,
and,
right?
Yeah, and so that I will never be in that position.
And I think that's my biggest thing and why I talk about it so much is my mom stayed her entire life because she had to. She had to. And she was stuck. Whether it was disrespect, lies, whatever it is, doesn't matter how much she screamed and yelled and cried, she had to put her tail between her legs no matter what. Mm-hmm. And that was something that I watched I always was like, ladies, like no matter what, have something of your own. Like anything can happen. I've seen divorces now. I've seen people walk away. I've seen the cheating. I've seen the husband died suddenly. And women literally don't have a clue where any of the money is. They don't know where anything is.
No passwords.
They are not. Like they just don't know what's going on. And I think the best thing you could possibly do is be empowered and be fucking smart. Like and know how to take care of yourself.
And everyone's smart. I think it's just waking up and realizing that like life isn't forever. So you do, even if it's like, even if it's not tomorrow, like 4 years from now, like you might need it. So just figure out like how to pay the bills online.
Right.
Like figure out where the accounts are. Just learn about it.
I'm just saying like knowledge is power.
Learn.
And I think most women, and I think you guys have been in business a long time. It'll be fine. Or like he takes care of all of it. Yeah. And then my friend, guess what? It's one of the most horrible divorces. Doesn't know where anything is, and now is left with nothing. And you're like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
And you're like,
that's so scary.
It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah,
and my mom, I watched him almost walk out a million times, and she had to hold on with a fucking noose because she would never have been able to make it on her own.
She was so scared.
She was so scared.
Yeah.
Till this day, like never rode a bike, never learned how to swim, never did anything. Fear.
Whoa.
And I jump out of planes. I swam with sharks. I'm the complete opposite. I'm always like, I want to live big. I want to have fun. I was like, I watched my mom sacrifice all of her happiness. And I was like, I'm not going to sacrifice any.
Her like inner spirit must be so proud of you, whether she can say it or not, because it's like you're doing so many things that she couldn't do.
Or she's like, idiot, just sit down.
Yeah, I think sometimes she's
Find
like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
she was like, if John doesn't work out. I got picked to be on I got asked to be on The Bachelor when I was dating John, engaged to John. And my mom thought I should go on.
Yeah.
She goes, it's a show. She goes, it's fine. It's a show. It's fake. You're just acting. And I was like, but I'm supposed to marry him. And she's like, whatever. It's acting. It's fine. John will understand. I was like, Mom.
Oh my God.
I was like, I can't with you. Like, she's just a fucking disaster, but in the best way.
Yeah.
We learn the greatest lessons.
Yeah.
But again, I think the mother's happiness does have an effect.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because mine was always unhappy. And I just never wanted a household like that. So it's interesting that your house was happy, and thank God you continued that on. I feel very lucky to have broken generational vicious cycles,
and that's why it might be a choice for you, right? Like it's what we know. So for us, it's like wait, why wouldn't we be?
Right, and for me, it's like
I
make
have
it different. Do it different. I show up to everything. I don't miss anything for the kids. I've been to every game, every assembly. I was the art docent. I was the room parent. I was the vice president of the board. I ran the gala.
Oh yeah.
I went
just
so
so you know,
over
and
the
then
top.
really did
and
the
your
opposite of
kids
your mom.
will also have issues with you.
Yeah,
which is
I
outrageous.
destroyed them. And as soon as I was done with that, I was like, I'm never going back to school. I hate it. Hated volunteering. Hated all the kids. I didn't realize I was trying to be super mom.
And you hated
I
it.
hated it. I hated all the
I hate
moms.
volunteering too,
Sorry
by the
guys,
way.
I did. The moms were such bitches.
Were they?
When I started Instagram, they made fun of me all the time.
Yeah. But now you have a crew. Don't you have a crew now?
Oh, I have a great crew crew now.
Yeah.
The crew now is like the working, motivated, going places. Like
Yeah.
my crew now is my future.
Yeah.
I kind of had to let go of my past so that I could start growing, to be
yeah, just
honest,
let it
because
go.
that shit was holding me
You
back.
and your little
I don't need
Instagram.
gossip. I don't need
Little, whenever
You
they
and
say
your
little,
little
how's your
Instagram,
little,
your little
how's your little
videos.
business
Oh, and they'd
going?
be like, oh no, the husband was like, why does she? That's so stupid.
Yeah,
what she does.
when
And
they
I-
put little in there, it's so
oh, and they'd be
bad.
like, oh, like that's cute. What are you doing? I go,
Yeah.
well, I'm putting money in the bank. What are you doing?
Yeah, the people don't know though. People don't
I'm
know.
like, what are
People
you
don't
doing?
like.
Yeah, a lot of them don't know we
is
actually
this
make
for
money from
ego?
this.
And you're like,
I was like, we're running 7 businesses right now.
Yeah,
Like, what
yeah.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I'm crazed.
You
Anyway, you guys, what gets you up and dressed? Honestly, because I know you guys, this isn't your favorite. I know.
What's not our favorite?
Well, like
Getting
I know,
dressed?
Well, like getting up and getting dressed when I joke with you guys,
Yeah.
and I love joking. I'm like, guys, get the fuck up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
dressed. What makes you struggle? What's your favorite thing to put on? What is getting up and getting dressed for you?
Oh, I get that. So what's our metaphor of getting dressed?
Yeah.
Or metaphor for getting dressed or actual
Yeah,
fashion?
or fashion, whatever.
No, why do you wake up in
appeals
the
to you.
morning? What's your mojo, baby?
Well, I feel like I already touched a little on that. So I'm going to talk about what are the clothes, the things that would make me feel.
What do you put on that makes you feel great?
Like not enough. Like I need to
A
really
bathing
get there.
suit.
I need to get there.
You love a bathing suit.
I need more clothes that I love.
I'm
you love a
helping you.
bathing suit.
I do love a bathing suit.
So you love a bathing suit. I
Yeah.
love that positivity. Thank you.
Toronto's not a great place for wearing a bathing suit every
You'd
day.
be so happy in a bathing suit, though. You could live in a bathing suit.
So you're more of a bathing suit girl, but
because I don't
again-
have to decide on anything that other than one thing, and I don't have to worry about a waistband. I don't have to worry about. I just, you know, what I mean? It's just that would just.
You
be
love a
easy.
dress. She loves a dress and heels. That's you love. You could
But
live
if you're in
in
a dress and heels, do you feel better?
Always have to be heels. I could never wear flats.
Okay, and how about you?
I'm just jeans. Like I love.
like you feel fat
I'm
in
always
jeans.
on the hunt for jeans. Baggy.
Okay.
It's a joke how many jeans I have. Baggy jeans, oversized jeans, tight jeans. Like I hate flare jeans, but I like everything else in between.
And flare are my favorite.
And do you like getting up and getting dressed? Like, is it your thing? Is it something that motivates you? Or
It
what
does-
is it? What is
doesn't
it for
define
you?
me. I
Yeah.
don't feel better or worse.
Yeah.
Working out is probably way bigger for me than getting dressed. Like if
that
I
makes
work,
you, like, you
it's my
worked out, you feel great.
I'm like wow,
Yeah.
because you have to do it forever.
Yeah.
Just like getting dressed.
Yep.
Like working out, you can't just get a goal. It's like you have. It's not a phase.
It's not a phase.
It's
That's
a
why I
fucking
plan it.
number.
I lay it out. 'Cause it's like working out. You got to go. You got to commit.
You
right?
got to commit.
You got to commit.
Yeah, so when I work
Like,
out, I'm like,
When you work out and you start losing weight and you start to look
it's
good.
never to lose weight. By the way,
No, so I didn't mean to say like lose weight, but like, you know, when you start to go, you want to feel, for me, it's feeling stronger.
By the way, it
right?
took, no, it
Feel
took
strong.
it. It's not even honest to God.
What?
It's not about the way. It's not about the way I look.
What is it?
I said to her recently, I think so much. I think the whole day about not working out. I think about it all day. I should. If I don't work out in the morning, I'm like, I should go. I should go. I think about it all day. So when I get it out of the way, it's out of my head.
And then you're good for the day. Like
It's
it
not
feels like-
even about I need to go do this for this. It's otherwise. I don't know where it got engraved in my head because my mom does not work out. Like
Really?
it's like I just.
that's your thing, and it does make you feel good when you walk out and you do it,
It makes me feel like a check mark. Like if I had a checklist, I'm like I did that.
and that makes you feel good.
Then you get to move on to walking the dog and dinner.
Yeah, I hate walking the dog. I'm like Natalie, the dog.
Is
the
it hard,
dog.
you guys? Really quick, last two quick
I hate
questions.
making dinner.
Go. So do I.
Hate it.
Hate it. John
the-
makes dinner now.
I hate it. Like it actually gives
I
me.
was like, I'm working. Very
it gives
busy.
me panics.
Embarrassing.
But when you're on tour, is it hard to be on that high and then come home to real life? I'm always curious. I've read something recently about the highs when you get a lot of attention and you have all, you know, you go to the tours and everyone's screaming and cheering and clapping for you. And then you go home, right? And you're right back to the shit show and the
But
norm.
we're that person on stage.
Yeah, like you're still that same
You're
person.
just
Nothing
mom.
changes.
I love both the lives.
You
like
do?
I love the kids and being home with the kids. I love when I'm around all of the kids. I love the kids being around, but I love that too. But I'm so glad I get both.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm glad I have two things too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and but
Yes.
when you don't, it doesn't. Also, not followers don't give us validation. Like shows don't give us like we're not validated through anything.
You're not. You're
No.
validated honestly because
Through money.
you guys are happy.
Yeah.
And of course money.
Like if like as
Oh,
a
yeah.
business, it feels
Yes.
not validated. Like it's worth it because we get a paycheck, and then
course.
the crux of it though is we get to be with women.
It's the best
Like that's the
part.
best part of it. And then because when we take time away from our family, it has to.
And
be
when you
for-
guys
has
tour,
to
I
be
know
money.
you're on tour right now. Can you guys tell us where we can find you, where you can
we're
get
coming to
tickets?
California. Yay! We're on a break until
Fall.
Because summertime, children.
Yeah, we just like catandnat.com right there.
NCA everywhere.
Yeah,
Kat
and
Nat,
you just
Kat
click,
Nat.
and it has live
We'll be
tour
in
dates.
Texas, Chicago, Indianapolis. We're going all over.
How many do you guys like do one chunk at a time?
We'll only do like a maximum of 3 in a row because we took times
Fridays.
where we'd go away for 2 weeks
And
and
do,
have
like,
the tour
14
bus
shows in 12
and just like
days.
drive in the night and wake up in a city and do a
killer?
show.
Was it
was
crazy?
killer. It was good money, but it was too long. And it's funny. I was saying that it's like we thought that leaving the young toddlers was hard to leave them, but actually that was easier because we had them on such like schedules, and not being able to leave the teenagers because there's so much driving. There's so many big things that happen.
It is harder now.
It's
They
just
need
getting
you.
them around.
They need you.
We need 2 people to make all that happen.
We need more than 2 people.
Yeah.
We need
Oh,
more.
I want 15 people.
Yeah, we need
I
more.
want
Like,
15
it's like
people, like
carpools and-
one person for everyone. I'm not even
Yes,
kidding anymore.
one driver per kid would be
Literally.
great. Then the chef,
Yeah,
Right?
they
Yeah.
need. It's a lot
We need
to
a lot
leave
of
them.
stuff, you guys.
Yeah, it's a lot.
a tutor.
Are you kidding me? I need a chauffeur, a tutor, a masseuse,
Yeah.
a PT,
Yeah.
nail, hair.
Yes, yes.
Like I mean, I could go on, but
Yeah.
the truth is, so people can go get tickets.
Everywhere.
Yeah,
yeah,
right now.
Like
You guys have to follow Kat and Nat because they're fucking amazing, and I just love you, and I love your realness. I love your authenticity. Thank you for always keeping it real.
For doing what you're doing. 'Cause
Thank you.
I literally go on all your links, and sometimes
you.
I'm like, I have to stop clicking link. Like she knows I have a problem, so I'm like, I have to stop clicking
I have
links.
a problem too.
Although I did say to Kat, because you guys are like good at shopping
shop.
and stuff, is that I'm like Kat. I'm like, why can't you just like
And
buy
I do,
clothes
and
for
I
me?
do sometimes. And
know.
then
I
I'll
do.
send her
I
a
buy
link.
stuff for Monica. We do buy stuff
And
for
I
each
send her
other.
links. I'm like, this would look really good on you. I'm like, try this on.
That's
even-
what friends do.
I'm like, look at. I'm always like, this looks good. But then she's like,
You have enough on your plate that you don't have to shop for me, but I would really like that.
I'll just send you links and then go buy.
I'm
this.
not gonna press go.
Guys, we're all gonna get dressed no matter what.
You're dressed,
Okay?
babe.
Whether
You're
you like
dressed.
it or not.
You're always dressed. by
Okay,
the
what
way.
are your handles? I need to hear everything.
Kat and Nat.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everything, everywhere.
Everywhere.
You guys do not miss Kat and Nat. If you guys can get to their show, you will not fucking be disappointed.
No, you won't be.
okay?
I can actually confidently say I would
I-
like to go to my own show.
And when are you coming? Are you doing an LA one? I feel like.
We are not. San Francisco, Lodi,
and then there's another
Monterey.
Okay, I think we need an LA one because I really.
We've done
want
LA
to
a
go.
few times, and we love LA. We have to break it up, otherwise it's like they're back again.
Well, now when we come to LA, we're just gonna come and hang out with you, so
you're
you'll get your
fucked.
Kat and Nat fill.
Guess what? You guys are fucked. You're stuck with me forever.
Yeah, we're good with
And
that.
I love you. Please come visit us
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
You guys,
Thank
please
you.
follow Kat and Nat. We love you so much. Thank you for all you do. We're back next week, coming in hot with another hot topic. Love you all. Goodbye.